Doctor, can you tell us about the growing threat of Lyme disease?
Yeah, so there are areas in the country that are traditionally really high prevalence areas. The northeastern United States, Minnesota, Wisconsin, but there's also a very similar tick that spreads the same bacteria on the West Coast. So Washington, Oregon, California, going up through Arizona, the Las Vegas into Utah. So all of these areas are traditionally, have that endemic Lyme disease. But there's other areas that are kind of on the fringes of those areas that I just said, where they're seeing growing numbers, okay? And so when you look nationally, in 2021, the whole year, okay, 1 in 20 dogs tested positive. Okay? So 3.5 million dogs tested, 140,000 positive dogs. So far, with a few months of data in 2022, we've got 1 in 30 dogs that are positive, and I fully expect that number to go up.
Most important next question, why?
Well, so you've got, in some areas, the perfect storm. You've got the right tick with the right host to pick up the bacteria from, and then as they mature in their life cycle, they will spread that to people, they will spread it to dogs, and those ticks with those feeding habits, those patterns, they're moving, they're on the move, and there's a lot of reasons why ticks expand their range, but it's happening, so those veterinarians on those kind of border areas are like, wow, we're seeing more and more positive dogs.
You mentioned a lot of areas. Are there any particular real hot spots right now?
Well, yeah, if you look at areas like West Virginia, I mean, this is an area that, you're seeing lots and lots of dogs there as those ticks, those northern ticks work their way south. So areas like West Virginia, North Carolina, right? And then as you go down, you look at Florida. Right? Florida has a higher prevalence than some of the other southeastern United States. So these are areas where, boy, you really need to be on the lookout. I mean, everywhere you need to be on the lookout, but especially these areas.
So what is the latest and best protection against Lyme disease?
Well, here's the deal. I've got great news for dogs. I've got less great news for people. So for dogs, there's things you can do like once a month administration of Simparica Trio. It does it's labeled for a lot of parasites, but it's also labeled to prevent the bacteria that causes Lyme from being transmitted from the tick to the dog by killing the tick that causes that. And so in addition, you've got vaccines, okay? In these highly endemic areas, dogs should absolutely be vaccinated for Lyme. So these are two real important strategies for dogs. For people, sorry, we don't have either one of these, okay? You've got tuck your pants in your socks when you go outside, and you've got repellents that you need to spray early and spray often because they don't work that long. So way better to be a dog here.
So when it comes to pet owners, what should they be looking for to see if their dog perhaps has contracted Lyme disease?
Well, they need to be on the lookout for things like limping. They need to be looking out for fevers. They need to be looking out for drinking more water, maybe going to the bathroom more. But here's the hard part. Lots of things do this to dogs, lots of things. So if an owner is at all worried, you go to your veterinarian, you get them checked out. In addition, you get them checked out once a year, whether they are showing things or not, because a lot of these things can be cooking below the surface.
Most important takeaway that the audience should know about Lyme disease and protecting dogs?
Well, if I could get everybody to remember just this, it's year-round protection with that once-a-month product, vaccinate in the highly endemic areas, and if you want more information than that, you can go to SimparicATrio.com. That's SIMPARICA trio.com, and talk to your veterinarian. They are experts, and they have a tremendous amount of knowledge in this area.
Thank you so much. I appreciate all this information.
My pleasure.